Call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. and I would ask the city clerk to read the statement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 2006.
This meeting is being held in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, with the meeting notice advertised in the Trenton Times and provided to the Times and the Hunterdon County Democrat, the Bucks County Herald, members on the listserv, and department heads on December 30th, 2024. The meeting agenda provides action items known at the time of publication and is subject to change. This meeting is being streamed live and recorded using the Zoom meeting platform. Roll call.
Yes, please.
Councilwoman Kaminsky.
Here.
Councilwoman Lambert.
Here.
Councilman Lai.
Here.
Councilman Stegman.
Here.
Mayor Noah.
Here. Right. I'm will after the pledge of allegiance and with all the things that happen in the world every day, most of them, a lot of them bad. I'd like to reflect this evening on Jimmy Carter, whose life was a life of service and she's testified here. Mary, would you start us off with the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and the intellectual defense on a nation of the God in the small on each place to serve.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite the Reverend Don Alha and Rabbi Janine Jankovich to step up and offer us an invocation.
Shalom, Happy New Year. We gather here tonight in service to the vibrant community of Lambertville. As we mark the beginning of a new year, let us take a moment to reflect on the blessings we have received and the opportunities that lie ahead.
May this year bring strength to our hands as we work together to build a more compassionate and generous community. Let us honor the diversity that enriches our city, celebrating our shared values of justice, kindness, and respect.
May we be inspired to deepen our connections with one another, to reach out in service, and to lift up those who are in need. May our city be a beacon of light where all feel welcomed, safe, valued, and heard.
As we stand together, let us offer our gratitude for the beauty of Lambertville, for the grace of new beginnings, and for the opportunities that await us in the fresh year. May we walk forward together with hope, courage, and unity.
Bless this city, its leaders, its residents, and all who come here. May we all be blessed with good health, peace, and prosperity in the year ahead.
And let us say, Amen.
Now, Cindy, if you would please read the certification of the election into the record.
The Board of Canvassers of Hunterdon County, New Jersey, relative to an election held in the County of Hunterdon on November 5, 2024, for the election of one 3-year term to serve as mayor. The said board does determine that Andrew J. Noack was duly elected mayor for the city of Lambertville. The certification is signed by Mary Maffey, County Clerk, and Joyce Santos, Chairman of County Board of Commissioners. Congratulations.
Thank you. Shall I come down?
Will raise your right hand
I do.
and repeat after me. I, Andrew J. Noack,
I, Andrew J. Noack,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of mayor
of the office of mayor
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
And
ability.
you may add so help me God if you wish.
Thank you. So much.
Quite an honor.
It is. Thank you to have, thank.
Is that invisible in?
I got a new phone. Go,
Thank you.
like the red car.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's for very good choice.
Thank you. All right. And now we have nomination and election of the council president. I'm going to open the floor for nominations for the council president.
I'd like to nominate Benedetta Lambert to be the council president,
Second.
and I have.
Already seconded. Well, let's do a roll call just to be
Just to
thorough.
be sure. Okay, Councilwoman Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Councilman Lyde.
Yes.
Councilman Stegner.
Yeah.
Council President Lambert.
Yes.
I'm here now.
With great pleasure. Congratulations,
Thank
council
you.
president.
So raise your right hand. Okay, and repeat after me. I, Benedetta Lambert,
I, Benedetta Lambert,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established
to the same and the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office
perform all the duties of the office
of Council President
of Council President
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
That's official.
Okay.
You're not going back now.
For a while. I know you have to go up pretty high. Yeah, you can take it up.
Well, as our custom here from time to time, and especially on New Year's, we like to highlight some of the especially notable people and things that's happened in our community. And this year we have two proclamations. We're going to read the proclamation. We're going to start by reading the proclamations, and then we'll, presuming they're adopted, we'll come down and hand them out and ask for some thoughts from people. So we'll begin now.
I'd like to start reading the proclamation. Whereas Joseph Finkel began his hardware business in the early 1900s, peddling wares door to door, and earned a reputation as a fair and honest dealer. And whereas he grew the business from a horse and buggy operation to opening a scrapyard on Coryell Street in 1917.
And whereas Joseph's son and patriarch of the current generation, Abraham Abe Finkel, ran the business through the peak industry years until his death in 1994, And whereas nephew to Abe, Richard Finkel, worked alongside Abe for 25 years and continued for 7 more years, retiring in 2001.
Whereas Rachel Finkel, Abe's daughter, joined the company in 1991, diving headfirst into the male-dominated world of contractors, building suppliers, mapping inventory prices, and transitioning the business from handwritten price binders to a modern computing system, and became a leader in the community, all while navigating motherhood and infancy.
That's okay. Whereas Sven Helmer, Rachel's husband, stepped in as vice president in 1994, filling a critical role in moving the business forward. And whereas Finkel's has retained its well-earned reputation of the world's most unusual hardware store, while serving the community a collection of unique items and rare finds that could not be obtained anywhere else. And whereas a legend throughout the tri-state area, Finkel's, once known as Joe Finkel's or Joseph Finkel's and Son, is closing its doors at the end of 2024 after 107 years of service.
Now be it hereby resolved by the governing body, the city of Lambertville, and in the county of Hunterdon, in the state of New Jersey, that Finkel's Hardware Store and their employees, past and present, are hereby recognized for their many contributions to our community. And be it further resolved that Joseph, Abraham, Richard, and Rachel Finkel, and Sven Helmer are hereby memorialized among Lambertville's treasures for managing the iconic century-old hardware store that will be sorely missed. Be it further resolved that Rachel and Sven are wished much success with all of their future endeavors. That's for motion to adopt the proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. I'm all the down now. No, we're back up.
You just changed your mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Sure.
Everybody together. You guys, tell you how I'm back. All right, this is good. All right, so here you are. Thank you so much, and I hope you'll have a couple of minutes to speak if you have any reflections. Anything? Oh.
And I'm wondering if you might take a picture with my.
Of course. You want to say a few words?
I do,
Okay.
thank you.
Why don't you step over to the lectern just so we can hear you?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Please, you're more than welcome to say a few words. Thank you so much. Bill, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I want to thank everyone who was ever involved. It was over 107 years from the bottom of my heart. Whether you were a customer or people who worked for us for decades and decades and decades, a homeowner, a contractor, a supporter, a part of the community. It's been a very long, strange journey. My grandfather's beginnings as a scrap metal dealer, and he would trade with people for payment in kind. He lent people money. So many people have told me that they started their contracting business coming to my father asking for a credit line, and that's how they were able to start their business. It's a very different world today. I wish we could be around forever, but there have been market forces that kind of worked against us. The world changed, but we sure did last a very, very long time. And I want to thank everybody for supporting us over the years. And it was our pleasure to gain knowledge and be able to share that with every customer to help them complete their projects. And one thing we never specialized in was the blank stare.
I just want to say thank you to everybody too. It's been a lot of volume. We've enjoyed helping everybody. And it's a really great town, so we will miss it, but thank you very much for supporting us all these years.
So many different stories. So we're eager until, I don't know, March if we start to have people start.
I would be remiss if I didn't say a couple of things. One is, I'm gonna really miss the take a number. I should have come in and taken a number. And because when I first came to town in '88, I went into the hardware store and opened up an account and I named it after my store at the time, which was Boomerbilia. And so from that day forward, every time I came into the store, Rachel's father would say, "How's Mr. Boomerbilia today?" So it's that and many great memories and conversations, not only with Rachel and Sven, of course, but just to be in town during a period of time when your father was so active in the business. And it really helped me fit into a community that I really knew nobody in. And it's always great to know the person who owns the hardware store. So that being said, I appreciate all the hard work.
Well, I have to say that you fit right in because didn't you have like a plumbing background
Yeah.
originally?
Yes,
That was very impressive because that wasn't what your business was, but you sure did know your way around a plumbing fitting.
I thank you and my father. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you.
Wow.
Boomer would be my part-time plumber, and I have to admit, I was always a little intimidated holding my number there waiting because I felt like really outclassed by everyone there. But I had a very old bathtub, Coriel Street, and it was original to the house, and the only place that I could get a part from it was a Finkel. So that bathtub lasted many, many moons longer than it should have, and because it got a lot of love from you all. Thank you.
So I remember when I first moved to town in 2014, my wife went to Finkel's to pick something up and she forgot her wallet. And she came back with all this stuff and I was like, how did this happen? They said, oh, just come back, you can pay us later. And I was thinking, where does this exist? Lambertville, and believe it or not, I had my own experience after the flood. The morning after the flood, I went to Finkel's to buy whatever I could and I forgot my wallet. And whoever was there, they just said, take it, we know you're good for it, you're gonna come back, and it just shows what a special place Finkel's is, and we will definitely see it.
Thank you.
Well, I have, I think, the odd pleasure of not ever having really set foot into Singles until in 2024. And that's because my husband was the DIY guy and he was always there and he always went and he would time his visits. He didn't want to go too early in the morning because that's when the crowds were there. But my uncle was also a union carpenter, and when we told him we were moving to back to Lambertville, he said, "Oh yeah, there's some kind of hardware store there. You can get anything you need." So your reputation was far beyond Lambertville, and we're honored that you operated in this community and were so much a part of the fabric of what has made Lambertville the great place that it is. And we really appreciate it. And I will say that yesterday was the first day I had something break and I went, I can't go to Finkel's. So thank you for being there. The couple of times I went in, everyone was very helpful, and I was the person with the blank stare.
All right, I told Rachel this story recently, in 2004, shortly after we moved out from New York, we had a problem with one of our 19th century door locks, and the contractor said, when we pulled it all apart, and there was just a very small iron spring in this block from 1859, and my contractor said, go to Finkel's, and I said, what's Finkel's? I went down to Finkel's, and I stood there for a long time, not realizing that you had to take a number. So I was a little feeling very much of the idiot, but and I was also nervous because I just was holding this thing that was broken, and it was clear to me that there was no way that this was going to be found in the universe. And of course, I don't remember who it was, but he said, come with me. I went to the back of the cabinet with no name, no labels on any drawers. He just looked at the cabinet for a minute, pulled open a drawer, and there were 3 of them in there. And then he charged me like 7 cents. Oh, this is the worst moment of my life. So it was so extraordinary. So, it's not just about the 107 years, it's about the day-to-day for people and the experience of someone doing something that feels really unusual and perky and wonderful all at the same time. So I'm sure there are thousands of stories out there, just like mine and ours. And thank you again so much for being here this evening and for being in the community for 107 years. Our second proclamation this evening is in honor of Paul and Helen Cool, who nobody calls Helen that I'm from. She's just Barry, not that Barry. And so we're going to begin with this proclamation.
Page 2. Bambi, Paul. Whereas Paul and Helen Bambi all planted roots in the city of Lambertville in 1983, raising their daughter Catherine Poole and becoming an integral part of our community. And whereas Helen, endearingly known to the community as Bambi, was first appointed to serve as the Director of Social Services on August 1st of 1988. And
Whereas Paul completed his 5th term serving as the chairperson on the planning board and collectively has served on the board for over 30 years. He was the co-chairman of the community advisory team, and for the past 5 years has served as the chairman of the board of directors of the Riverside Symphonia. He earned his nickname, I didn't know this, using his connections to reach Santa Claus for the annual tree lighting appreciated by children of all ages. And
Whereas the community knows whenever there's a crisis individually or as a community, Bambi will help them rather, through to see another day, regardless of the issue. She has helped our residents through emergencies such as fires, flooding, as well as issues with housing. And
Whereas Bambi has decided to retire from her position as the Director of Social Services and Public Assistance with the City of Lambertville on March 31st, 2025. However, Paul, while retired from work, has decided to continue his standing on the planning board. And whereas Paul and Bambi are considered throughout the community as the dynamic duo, providing valuable guidance that has improved the lives of our residents.
Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the city of Lambertville and the county of Hunterdon and the state of New Jersey that Bambi and Paul Cool are hereby recognized for their many contributions to our community, some mentioned in this proclamation. And be it further resolved that this Sunday, January 19th, 2025 is hereby proclaimed Cool Day. At this time, I would for motion to adopt the proclamation.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, round 2. Well done. All up here. Now here on this. That's that. It's not about this.
Sorry.
Here, come on in here.
Alright.
All right, is there a camera around here somewhere?
No.
Oh. Okay. Here, come over here. Sure.
Alright.
You guys want to say a couple words? That'd be great. Sit right over.
You go first.
Uh, I've done a lot with the planning board. The planning board's done a lot, city and but really it's all the wonderful board members that have been on the planning board over the last 30+ years. They I think we've always worked together well, ask good questions, and we all have we want to make things best. Continue to keep Lambertville what it is, and that we listen to the public, listen to the applicants, we listen to our fellow board members, and try to come up with so it's really thank you to all those.
I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to do the work. And the support. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still doing OEM and Human Rights Council, so. But thanks, everyone. You kept me here for a long time. You did, and you did too, so. And everyone at City Hall, much has been very helpful. Lindsay, Cindy, the mayor, Sue, I know you're out there, Crystal and tax collector. It's just, it's trying to help people who don't have anything. And well, that's it. I think.
Councilwoman, you want to share your thoughts?
Yes. I remember when I first met Bambi years ago. And we just had a chance meeting, but there was this spark of chemistry, and I always felt she would become my friend, and she has become one of my dearest friends. And Paul's been along for the ride, and that's great. He is great. Okay, Paul, you do so much for the city. You're so tireless with your support, as you are, Bambi. And Bambi reminded me when we were taking the photo that we were recently in Paris together, and we discovered the French culinary version of Finkel's. I kid you not. It was anything you want for cooking. They had it, and it was a labyrinth in old building that there were little aisles and they had numbers. So your spirit lives on, Rachel. Anyway, Bambi and Paul, thank you for being such a part of the community that we've always been able to rely on both of you, even when you've been on vacation. And your support will be sorely missed. I'm glad we're not going to be missing you. So thank you. And thank you, Paul, as well.
I served on planning board a few times over the couple of decades that I realized that I've been sitting up. And also has been such a great chairman and keeps and he makes sure that every person who is on the board, as well as the public applicants, attorneys, professionals, have an opportunity to speak and explain their positions. And Paul has put this so great about allowing that opportunity to the public, regardless of him running a meeting almost at 2 a.m. in the morning. But that's okay. We approved a couple of pot licenses, which I am very thankful for. And Bambi, of course, never had a negative thing to say. Always positive, always inquisitive, always caring, and then you turn around and she flipped it. I'll tell you, it was Paul's job. But congratulations on being acknowledged, but I know that you don't wake up every morning and where people would talk so highly about you. So I'm going to stop. And thank you again for both of your involvements over the years in the city.
Can I forgot to thank the police. They have been incredible. Very, very good.
We've done it proud of that way.
I just want to thank both of you for everything you've done for the city, and it's been since you moved here. I mean, you wanted to make this a better place, and I think back to a couple of years ago, sitting through some of those long planning board meetings as a member of the public, and just really being impressed with Paul's ability to manage the room and to get to the right result and to let everyone speak and to let everyone be heard. I think that's a very important part of it, and just how you handled everything was just really impressive. And to think that you served on the board for 30 years, I'm tired after just a couple of years of this. 30 years. And Bambi, just seeing what you did after the flood and helping all the residents really shows your compassion. And thank you.
Lambertville has ditto what everybody else said, but Lambertville has a great tradition of taking care of its community and its residents. And Bambi really captured the spirit of that, taught me a lot of how that was done. And I was always amazed that at like 1:30 in the morning that you could find someone a hotel and comfort them. And during flood and bad times, whether or not people were at boats or whatever, that your voice and just your spirit really helped calm and soothe the community. But that spirit of community lives in you. And I think that as much as it was always there, you grew it into a beautiful thing here. So thank you. And thank you. And I always know that if I go to a party at Bambi's, there'll be a spiral hand. I shouldn't have really said, but anyway. Being on the board with you was, has been terrific. I've never been calmer, more thoughtful, like what a great meeting, and you made it easy for everyone to serve and have an opinion and on things that were very difficult at times. And your love of the community was just comes out in the way that you treat everyone and treated the subject matter. So I'm grateful. I'll still see you both because you're down the street walking your dogs and whatever, but you're a great part of our community. And I'm so grateful to have lived here with you.
I certainly echo what everyone on dance has said. I think, a lot of what we do in City Hall is not necessarily, and what we do as people is not necessarily known oftentimes in a broader context. And, I've had residents in my office after the flood crying and emotional, and I see the depth of Bambi's personal commitment to people in this community. And it can feel just so positively overwhelming, really, to know that anybody can come in and be heard and be comforted by one person with whom they've had a relationship for possibly many years, right? So, and as Councilwoman Kaminsky noted, this is a special element of life in Lambertville, and maybe it exists in other places, but we love the way it exists here, and we love the compassion and the dedication you've had to that ideal, as well as the people. And Paul, certainly, planning board meeting until 1 o'clock when the bathrooms weren't working and we had to take a recess so people to go to city hall. I mean, another thing that's so important to me as coming into a new position, and I think to anybody who's starting something new, is continuity and leadership around you, people who are consistent, people who are steady. And certainly you've been that to me as a mayor. And I dread the day when we have to pass the torch to another, hopefully not my mayorship. Hopefully you'll want to continue to do what you've been doing so well for the last 30 years. So really thank you on behalf of the entire city and myself in particular. All right. And with that, we're going to move on. We typically have a few moments for council commentary at the reorganization meeting. And so we'll begin with Councilwoman Kaminsky, if you have any remarks that you'd like to make. Yes.
Of course. My bio. No, I just want to say it was a really great year, and I really want to thank the public. I think we had like great engagement and work together on a lot of issues. We've had a lot got on our plate this past year with affordable housing issues and stormwater issues, and I think that it was great to have everyone come out and participate and become and volunteer to kind of help find solutions. And I look forward to that, going into this next year where, we have some challenges. I really commit to an environmentally responsible and socially responsible affordable housing program here, of addressing our PFAS issues and continuing to be vigilant and working with DEP to come with some solutions, and protecting our residents' right to safe drinking water, and also certainly continuing with stormwater management and addressing that within the town. And also, like a final thing that's come to my mind too is also pedestrian safety. It's a kind of it's an issue here that we've had on and off, and especially in the fall when everyone's going to Rambler practice and cheerleading practice and trying to cross the street at Ely Field. I think that maybe, 2025 will be a good year to address that with the DOT in terms of that. Along Bridge Street, I think those are some, again, good quality of life, but, pedestrian safety is really important, and I look forward to, dealing with it 2025.
I completely agree with you and everything you said. I don't have a lot more to offer, which is unusual because obviously lawyers don't talk, but I think what really makes this city great is the people here, obviously, and everyone that comes out and everyone that has an opinion. I love hearing that. I love when people come out. It makes a better democracy. And, I think we have a lot of challenges for this next year, but I look forward to working with everyone up here to figuring out solutions that's going to work for our city. And, just thank everyone that comes out to the meetings and participates in our democracy.
Of course, we're really experiencing this past year, and we've come out and verbalized how important it is for people to come to meetings. And I know that the owl sitting out here helps folks to participate remotely. But it's great to have the public come out and give them a forum to talk about what concerns them. And it really kind of helps guide myself, and I would assume the rest, into making very thoughtful decisions based on our own education on topics, but also on how to work through and make sure everybody gets heard. And that's why, that it's really important, and I appreciate everybody coming out as, again, at this meeting, and look forward to people making sure they come and visit with us and share their concerns with us, because at the end of the day, we're here. That's why we're here, that's why we run for office, and that's why we're so involved. And knowing how involved everybody else is who lives here it's really great to materialize, and it happens here at the meeting. So I look forward to a very exciting new year coming up. Challenges we have challenges every year. But to quote former Mayor Del Vecchio, it is the peaceful transfer of power that we cherish living in Lambertville, but living in this country, that allows us that continuity. And so I thank you, Jane, for those words of wisdom in years past. And also I see former Councilman Sanders here as well. I've had a very interesting opportunity to have served with so many council people in my run here as on city council, that I won't go through the list, but it's a treasure for me to be able to have experienced that growing from my first years in office, to get to know people that I've worked with, but to be kind of a steward, as we all are, to making sure Lambertville, is a place that, we love to call home, and cherish the fact that we're calling Lambertville home. So look forward to a great year.
First, I'd like to thank my fellow council members for your confidence in electing me as council president for a second year. I think many of you know that this was a very challenging year for me. And I really appreciate the grace and support that I received, not just from my fellow council members, city hall staff, but really everyone in the community. And I want to personally express my thanks and gratitude for that support. And it continues to this day. It's true, we have had a challenging year, but I really feel like this governing body has become more cohesive because we've met those challenges together. We don't always agree, but that's not what's important. You don't have to agree on everything. You need to have the dialogue. You need to listen to each other. And then you find a way to collectively move the process, the topic, you keep it moving forward. And I think we have made progress. It doesn't seem like it, but we have, with the area of affordable housing. The fact that we're instituting an affordable housing advisory committee is great. It's going to help move us in a direction that will be really driven by what suits the community. And that's really important. We've worked on a lot of different things. I look forward to working more on affordable housing. I can't believe I'm saying that because it's a tough topic, right? But I feel like we're starting to craft a vision, and it's very exciting for us to do that. And I always thought that this was a community that could take an issue and make it fit what the community reflects. And there's been some examples with that, with Penn East, former Councilman Sanders. That group of people knocked them down. And that's what Lambertville stands for. Okay, we're a bunch of really smart, creative, caring, loving people. And that's what makes it great here. And that's what makes me very happy to serve you on this council. Thanks.
And as for myself, it's a great honor to begin a second term. And really, it's such a mystery to me that this is all happening. But really a joyful one. It was really born of an idea from a friend, and I'm just delighted every day to be among all of you. This is now the third year this council will have worked together, and I have a deep respect for each of you. And for the work that you do and for the voices that you share, and your commitment to the community. So all of that, and the staff at City Hall, we have more fun than we probably should. But there's no HR department, so that's okay.
I'm always working. I never have fun.
So, I just feel very blessed to be in this role and to be starting a second term. And I also think it's for me, and we talk about the community, which is obviously very important, engagement, people. I'm always wanting to talk to people and hear people's views and to have conversations. I would say that also important to me is our relationship with the county. Thank you again for being here. I think the county, I'd like to think that in my 3 years, I've grown with the county officials and that our relationship is getting stronger. They're doing amazing things, whether it's a grant for the video camera or whether it's an upcoming seminar on shared service agreements that they want to foster among communities, which has been a big focus for me, although one that I have not had all the time I wanted to devote to, right? I think that shared services are very important and can be a very effective way to do things. So I have to recognize the county and I also have to recognize the state. I think that the DEP in particular and the DOT have been very good to work with. We rely on our partners up and down the ladder, whether they're constituents or whether they're the governor or anywhere in between. And I appreciate those relationships and I do my best to grow them in a way that's respectful and appreciative. So that's really all I wanted to say this evening. I'm just very grateful to be here. I stayed at the City Beach January 15th, which I will share some more broader thoughts about where we are and where we might go this year. So that will be, if you can't make the meeting, we'll sort of forward it online. It'll be available on the website. But thank you all for being here, and thank you all for sharing this talk with me and for working hard with me. All right. Now, thanks again, Mary, for being here.
Thank you for asking me. It almost makes me want to live here.
Good out of here. Oh my God. I always joke that Mary's my favorite Republican. It's actually not a joke. She is my favorite Republican. My brothers haven't really got to that level yet. Mary has. She's been a good partner. She's helped us out. She helped us vote while we were in Vietnam. She's been a great source of civic responsibility. All right, we're gonna move on. Then we have public participation. Just a few notes about this. We ask members of the public who wish to speak to step up to the lectern unless they have mobility issues. You have 3 minutes of uninterrupted time to, offer comments or ask questions. Council may or may not respond, and we do ask that you provide your name and your address. So are there members of the public who would like to speak this evening? Just so you know, Lindsay will give you a heads up when you've got about 30 seconds left.
Before I start, I want to acknowledge that, is it working?
Yes.
That, Bambi and Paul have one of the best rescue dogs in Lambertville, very cool. He is part of what we call 188 Parson Russell Terriers rescued from a horrible hoarding situation in Kingwood Township, and he's a great representative for that. My name is Lori Stagnato, Lambertville Animal Welfare. And I am here in regards to animal control services 2025. I can't believe that we are all here once again fighting for the safety and lives of Lambertville's pets and wildlife. Why would Lambertville at the last minute choose Animal Control Solutions, a company that we have all fought against for years, at a cost of $24,000 plus all vet bills, boarding, euthanasia, dead animal disposal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when Animal Control Officer Murphy is offering her contract at $11,500 with all costs included, over twice as much. How come 2 years ago, Animal Control Solutions offered a contract for $10,800, and now it is more than double? As we all know, Animal Control Officer Carolyn Murphy has a pending case against her with the prosecutor's office. I am certain all charges will be dropped as she followed the strict animal welfare laws of New Jersey in that case. I know that because, as you know, I'm also an animal control officer in New Jersey as well as animal cruelty investigator. Is that the real reason you are selecting a company charging over twice as much with far fewer services? Perhaps you don't want the publicity. Over the past few days, I've been hearing that there have been complaints about Carolyn and her work. Sadly, she has not been informed of these complaints and therefore has no way to defend herself, her reputation, or her livelihood. In all fairness to taxpayers and to the animals of Lambertville, this resolution should be delayed until she is advised of these complaints and able to defend herself to you and the public. Thank you.
My name is Kathy Williams. I live at 84 Coriel Street, and I'm reading the letter that Judy Gleason sent to the council and the mayor because she couldn't make it tonight. First, the fees for the $24,000 plus kenneling and vet bills payable to Animal Control Solutions under the resolution are more than double the fees of $11,508, fully inclusive, payable to Animal Control. No justification for this large increase is made available to the public. Second, there have been recently unsubstantiated allegations that there have been a number of citizen complaints made against Carolyn for 2023 and 2024 in Lambertville. Yet in a short time, it has not been possible for the public to learn whether such complaints exist, or if so, the content of such alleged complaints. There's also been no record of such complaints made available to Carolyn based on initial citizen inquiries in the short time available since the resolution was made to the public. I believe there is no dispute that the manner in which our elected officials review, consider, and make decisions in handling their contracting obligations is both critically important and demands justification based on open public information. There's been too short a time to provide this information and too little time for citizens to obtain this information. For the reasons above, I respectfully request that the final action on this resolution 24 be delayed to allow the information to be made available to the public. I deeply regret that our prior commitment makes it impossible for me to be present today. Thank you, Judith Gleason. On a personal note, come on, guys. This is a joke. It's a joke. The charges against her are unsubstantiated. We are going to find that out, and she is innocent until proven guilty. Thank you.
My name is Lisa Mahalchik. I live on Jefferson Street here in town. I guess I'm one of the people who made a complaint that you all never heard about. I trust the judgment of this council and the mayor based on their knowledge and totality of all the aspects in this particular that has gone on with this particular employee. My personal experience with ACO Murphy was troubling and traumatizing. My dog was brutally mauled and attacked by 2 pit bulls in town. And my experience with ACO Murphy was horrendous, to say the least. When questioned by, I asked her a number of times, I made a few phone calls directly to her. She either didn't respond or it was a much delayed response. And when we did finally speak, my dog was severely injured, over $2,000 of veterinary bills. She was given copies of the reports, and her response to me was, well, he didn't die, he wasn't killed. This is really difficult for me. A second dog, 2 months later, was also mauled by the same pit bulls. The other owner and I went to council members, went to the mayor and discussed the maulings. We discussed how severe they were. And we discussed our experience with ACO market. And while the mayor and council were trying to help us, much was out of their hands that they could not do. And I understand that, and I respect the folks on this council and the mayor that tried to help us. The second dog was much smaller than mine and could have easily been killed, but was saved by his harness because the pig couldn't quite get to the neck. My dog, because of the breed that it is, was saved by its neck because it has a thick scruff and could not get through. His pit bull could not get through, but he had him by the neck. The reason that I'm here is not to really discuss ACO Murphy in terms of my personal experience, because I know some people have had much better experiences. That's fine. I want to support the council's decision, because at this point, there's too many conversations going on that just because the townspeople don't know all the stories and all of the reports. I was very respectful when you were up here. Please don't shake your head at me.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Anyway, I'm sorry, I apologize. I think that a new ACO is the way to go. I think it's a necessity because absolutely nothing was done when these pit bulls attacked our dogs. We asked for these dogs to be muzzled when they were in the community walking around, and we had absolutely no response from that. That's all we asked for. We didn't ask for them to be put down. We didn't ask for any restrictions other than muzzle the dogs while they're in the community.
So if you could please wrap up, please.
Yes, I'm sorry. So anyway, my whole objective for being here is to support the change in this situation. Because while the dogs have moved out of town, it doesn't mean that this can't happen again. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jeff Tittle, 33 Wilson Street. Just want to start off by, since you mentioned former President Carter. I had the privilege of interning in the White House in the summer of '77. I was the lowest guy in total. Chris Matthews was already around, wasn't even in the department. But so towards the end of my internship, I got a call that I have to go to the White House, to the executive offices. I worked in the West Wing, but I was like pretty much in the basement. And I had to go see the president. And I come in, and the president says hello to me and asks me to sit down. And he says, I called your grandmother to thank her for having you come and intern for me, and she hung up on me and said it was a phony phone call. She said, who's this, one of Jeff's friends? You don't even do a good Southern accent? Please call your grandmother and tell her something off from me. Had to do it, but anyway, by the way, she later hung up on Vice President Monda. But the point that I was going to just mention that, his tenure was one that we tend not to remember as much. Some of the most important environmental bills from Superfund and TSCA were passed under him in 13 national parks. So we tend to forget certain things that got done, and a lot of the good things got done. I wanted to just mention a couple of things here today. Last year we had all the issues going on with the Hill and the development there, and now we've turned into a new year, but we need to get it done. We need to remove the hill from our current plan, 140 units, we still go up there. We have to come up with alternatives and we have to deal with the ground floor. We don't really have a lot of time to waste and it really needs to get done. My other main issue that I want to bring up is PFAS. As we know, it's a forever chemical that bioaccumulates in us, it's had in community. It's in a public system, though at low levels, it's in wells, it's in very disturbing levels. We don't know exactly where the source is, but we do know electronics is a major problem. In fact, we won't realize because of all the electronics in Silicon Valley, Santa Clara County has more Superfund sites than any county in the United States, and it's all from PFAS dealing with electronics. So we have that issue, and we have to get a hold of it and get on top of it. We can't let West Amwell, run this. We have to run it for our people. And like my last point is that we need to think about, as other towns are doing, suing the manufacturers. The state of New Jersey suing them. Many towns are, because clean up their mess may cost us money. There may be people in town that may end up suing the town as well because of it. And so we really need to take a proactive defensive posture by going after the manufacturers. Otherwise, we may end up finding ourselves, in a serious set of lawsuits or a serious amount of things to do, like bring a water system up on that hill that may cost a lot of money. So we really need to get on top of it. My last point is, to this point here, I think we need to revisit the 3-minute rule because sometimes there's some very important issues we need to have more further discussion. So thank you.
Chris Meinhardt, 25 South Main Street. I just want to say that I think, as others have said, we should think about changing our animal control officer to animal solutions for twice the price of what we're getting from Officer Murphy. And if I understand what this poor lady went through, but I think you don't pay more to get less. If you think we need a new ACO, do some research. But I think right now we need to support Officer Murphy. And if it's because of the pending litigation, again, as someone said, you're innocent until proven guilty. Let's wait and see. Thank you.
Anyone else in the room? Anyone online? How many people do we have online tonight? Yeah. Welcome everyone online. Good to have you with us. Great. I will ask therefore for motion to close the public participation session. So
Second.
all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Your motion carries. Moving on to appointments to boards and commissions. So each year at Reorganization, we reappoint people and we appoint new people to our many boards and commissions. We have about 100 people that serve very generous amounts of time in these roles, everything from parks and recreation to zoning and planning and everywhere in between. So a lot of good work gets done through our volunteers. And unless there are any questions from the council about any of these appointments to boards and commissions, I have that for motion. Is anybody? Okay, second. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, okay, motion carries. And now we have the consent agenda. The following resolutions will be authorized using a consent agenda. These are resolutions number 01-2025 through 30-2025. These resolutions are considered routine and shall be enacted by one motion. Should any member of the city council seek separate discussion of any item, the item shall be reviewed and discussed separately. So these are largely the things that we do every January, first week of January, everything from designating newspapers to setting up meeting schedules, holiday schedules, authorizing the signature of bank city accounts, authorizing a temporary budget, payment of taxes, so forth and so on. A resolution to appoint everything from shared services to the community emergency response team. So I just wanted to check in with the council if they have any questions or feel the need to discuss any of these in particular.
No.
No.
I will just make one note. We do try to make a little progress every year. So this year, I think, we decided that we would publicize the summer hours for the DPW. We set them on a calendar so that there's no confusion. When people are putting their, running to put their trash out, because we started summer hours. So sometimes little things are helpful in the community, and that's one I just thought we should highlight. So, all right, hearing, let me just. Bring no questions or concerns with community resolutions, I would ask for a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, so let's have a voice,
Councilwoman Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Councilman Lai.
Yes.
Councilman Stegman.
Yes.
Council President Lambert.
Yes.
Mayor No.
Yes. Motion carries. Adopted. We have resolution number 31-2024. This is a resolution to authorize professional services with various contractors for the 2025 calendar year. So this is pulled out separately because councilman, this is about this.
I'm sorry.
You're staying on this one.
I will,
Yeah. All right, are there any questions about this? All right, may I have a motion to this?
So moved.
Second. All right, let's have a roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kaminsky.
Yeah.
1 second. Councilman Lai.
Yes.
Councilman Stegman.
abstain.
Council President Lambert.
Yes.
Mayor No.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to announcements. So a couple of things here. We have our 4th round affordable housing informational session on this coming Monday, here at 7 o'clock. Be introducing, members of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. That committee we talked about kind of extensively over the last few months. We'll be meeting twice a month, probably the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month, to begin work on, work of housing this year. So that will be this coming Monday. That will also be available via Zoom for anybody who cannot make a meeting in person. Meeting will be recorded. Please note that the renewal of licenses, dog and cat, residential parking permit, and landlord registration all opened yesterday. And please note that there are a number of there's a couple of increases on a couple of these things, and keep an eye out for the deadlines, especially for landlord registration. Schedule of 2025 reorganization meetings are as noted here in the agenda. I'll be attending all of these meetings this month to thank our volunteers personally and to help set some goals for the year for the board and commissions. The convenience center hours are Saturday, January 4th and 18th, from 9 to noon, and Wednesday, January 15th, from 3 to 5. Holidays in January are January 1st for New Year's Day, which yesterday, obviously, Monday, January 20th for Martin Luther King Day. All the offices will be closed. At this time, we would open this up to our second participation session. Anybody would like to speak? All right, anybody online? Okay. Hearing none, I ask a motion to close the public participation session.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'd like to thank everybody for being here this evening. It's always a great success to have a reorganization unit. I know. Don't worry about that.
We're dismissing us.
No, I just want to say thank you one more time and happy new year. And on that note, motion to adjourn, please, Council President.
So moved.
Second, and then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, we are adjourned.